The rain tapped softly on the diner's windows as Jason slid into a booth, brushing droplets off his jacket. His daughter, Emily, clutched a small, soggy teddy bear and scooted in beside him. It had been a long day, one of many. A full shift at the auto shop, picking Emily up from school, and now a quick dinner before tackling the bills waiting on the kitchen table. Jason was a single dad, doing his best with what little he had left. He was tired, not just in body but in spirit. A waitress approached, holding a notepad and offering a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Hey there, I'm Sarah. Can I get you started with something to drink?" Jason glanced at Emily. "Chocolate milk?" he asked, and she nodded. "Make it 2, he added. Sarah jotted it down, her pen pausing slightly, as though she was about to say something. But then she just nodded and walked away. Dinner passed quietly. Emily giggled between bites of grilled cheese, and Jason, though weary, smiled at the sound. It was these small moments that kept him going. The only real light in his life sat across from him wearing a pink raincoat and swinging her legs. Still, something felt off. The waitress, Sarah, kept watching their table from behind the counter. Her eyes weren't curious. They were worried. When the check finally came, Jason glanced at it absently. Then he noticed something scribbled at the bottom of the receipt. "Do not get into the black SUV parked outside. Please trust me." His brow furrowed. He looked up, but Sarah had disappeared into the kitchen. For a moment, Jason considered going back to ask what it meant. But then he shook his head. It had to be a mistake. Maybe it wasn't even meant for him. People got paranoid these days. Besides, his own beat-up Honda was across the street, not parked out front. He stuffed the receipt into his jacket, took Emily's hand, and walked out into the rain. The street was quiet except for the soft growl of an engine. Jason turned his head to see a black SUV idling at the corner. His heart gave a small, unexplainable jolt. Still, he pressed on, guiding Emily across to where his car sat under a flickering street lamp. Then he heard footsteps. Heavy. Fast. Behind him. Jason. It was Sarah. She burst out of the diner's door, rain soaking her uniform instantly. "Don't get in the car," she shouted, running toward him. Jason froze. He turned, shielding Emily behind him. "Look," he said, voice low but defensive, "I don't know what this is about." "They're following you," Sarah said breathlessly. "I overheard them. They've been watching you since last week. They think you saw something at the garage. Something about a car. A plate number. You're in danger." Jason blinked. "What?" Sarah pointed behind him. The black SUV's doors had opened. 2 men stepped out, one holding something metallic in his hand. Jason didn't wait to find out what. He scooped Emily up and ran. They didn't go home that night. Sarah drove them to a motel 2 towns over. She told him everything she knew, how one of the men had been a regular at the diner, always asking questions about Jason, about his daughter. How she'd overheard them say, "He doesn't know what he saw, but just in case," how her instincts screamed that something wasn't right. Jason sat in the motel chair, holding a sleeping Emily in his arms, the realization washing over him like ice water. He had seen something at the garage, a car with a bullet hole, hastily patched. A license plate he'd mentioned in passing to a coworker. He hadn't thought much of it. But someone else had. The days that followed were a blur of police reports, protective custody, and difficult questions. Sarah stayed with them through most of it, refusing to walk away. It turned out the SUV was linked to a ring of criminals involved in trafficking stolen cars and money laundering. Jason's garage had unknowingly been one of their stops. He had helped bring them down, without even knowing it. 6 months later, Jason sat on a park bench while Emily played nearby, her laughter echoing through the spring air. Life was quieter now, safer. The fear had faded, but the lesson remained. Sarah walked up beside him with 2 coffees in hand. "You still have that receipt?" she asked with a smirk. Jason reached into his wallet and pulled it out, creased and faded. "Never leaving my side," he said. "You saved our lives." She sat beside him. "You didn't ignore it after all." He chuckled softly. "Maybe not. But I almost did. I almost ignored the warning that changed everything." Message at the end. Always listen to your instincts, and never underestimate the courage of strangers. Sometimes, a simple warning can be the line between danger and safety, between losing everything and getting another chance at life.